Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about transformers and the different types that are out there. It's one of the questions I get asked all the time. So I'm going to walk you through really 4 different types of transformers, and it doesn't really matter the brand. You're going to see these 4 types more times than not, and different brands will all have their different versions of it, but they're basically the same. And the first one I'm going to talk to you about is just a basic transformer. This one's actually from Kichler. This is a 120 watt transformer. So I'll explain to you guys in a little bit how to go and size that transformer, but I'll walk you through what I like about this transformer first. So it's a 120 watt transformer, which basically means if you're sizing your transformer, what you need to do is add up the total of all the lights that you have on your system. So say for example you have a bunch of accent lights and each one of those is 5 watts each. Then if you have 10 of those on your system, you're looking at 50 watts. So what you want to do is you want to size your transformer at least 20% bigger than that. So if you have 50 watts, you want to do at least a 60 watt transformer or a little bit bigger. So this is a 120 watt transformer, so we can easily fit 15 to 20 some lights on this, depending on what kind of lights that we're using. So I like this one because it's very simple. It has a photocell on it, so all a photocell does is basically just reads the sunlight, and it's going to turn your lights on and off with daylight and with nighttime. So it's a great simple way to do that. The only thing you got to bear in mind anytime you're using a photocell is where you place that transformer, because if it's in an area that's too shaded, then it's going to think it's nighttime all the time and your lights are never going to turn off. So that's the only thing you need to know about a photocell. The other reason I like this transformer is it has the small timers here so that you can do a couple different things. One, you can just turn it off and keep it off, and you don't have to unplug it or anything. You can also turn it to the on position and just leave your lights on all the time, or it's a great way to go and test the lights. The other thing you can do is you can set it to auto, so it just runs with basically dawn and dusk, or you can have 4, 6, and 8 hour timers. So basically what that does is it's going to turn the lights off 4, 6, or 8 hours after they've been on. So this is one of the types of transformers you'll see. Different companies, different brands make a very similar style one that you'll see often. The only real drawback to this transformer is one, it is a little bit smaller, so it's only 120 watts, so you're going to be limited to the number of lights that you can put on this, but I'm going to say if you're 16 lights or under, this is probably going to be a good affordable option for you. The other thing about it is that your taps on here that you put your wires into are only 12 volt taps. So all that means is one thing to consider is voltage drop. Now if you're using an LED system, it's not something you have to worry too much about, but just know that a good quality LED light is going to run anywhere between 9 and 12 volts of power it's going to require to run that light efficiently and to run it properly. Which means if you're using a 12 volt tap, you can lose up to 3 volts along the line. So a general rule of thumb is if you're putting 12 to 15 lights and you're only using 250 feet of low voltage 12-2 landscape wire, you're probably going to be fine with a transformer like this. But the other drawback is also these taps are quite small, so you're only going to be able to fit one set of wires into this transformer. So there's a little trick that I'll explain to you guys in a bit about that, or how you can get around that if you do choose this transformer. But this is a really good basic economy model that's going to run 12 to 16 lights, no problem. And one thing you can do, and we often do, just to give it a little extra kick and make it a Wi-Fi transformer, is we use these Wion outdoor Wi-Fi timers. So basically the way we use this is rather than plugging your transformer directly into your GFCI receptacle, what you do is you plug this into the receptacle outside, and then you plug your transformer into here, and then you just leave this in the on position, and you can control all your lighting system now via Wion's app. The other reason I like it is it has a multitude of different timer options, so you can still have it run with dawn and dusk and many other things like that. So it's a great way to do it. And the last tip I'll tell you about transformers, if you are putting it outside and it's going to be out in the elements, a good thing to get is like a waterproof box like this. These are $4 or $5 at any home improvement store, but what it's going to do is just going to keep the water out of the outlet for you. So that's our first transformer. I'll explain to you how we get into a little bit bigger transformer. Okay, so step 2, after you've chosen all your lights, you got to choose your transformer. Now your transformer is going to be based on how many lights you have. So to keep this simple, say you've chosen to use 10 uplights on your project, and each one of those uplights takes 5 watts to run. So if you add that up, 10 times 5 is 50 watts. And you always want to size your transformer at least 10 to 20% more than the actual wattage of all of your lights. So if we need 50 watts, I'm going to recommend a 60 watt transformer or higher to make sure that we can power all those lights. And then from there, you can determine where to run all your wire out to each and every fixture. One thing I do recommend is, if you can, try and mount it on a good 4x4 post. All that'll do is that if you ever decide to move it or change things around, you don't have a bunch of holes in your house that you've mounted it to. The other thing to consider too is you want to place it somewhere that's going to be close to your GFCI receptacle so that you can plug that in. And I would highly recommend getting like a weatherproof box like this for your GFCI receptacle, so that when you plug it in, you keep all the water